Hey, what is up guys, GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Girls Frontline 2 video. So let's talk about Jiangyu. She is coming tomorrow, so hopefully in this video we'll try to break down her kit and give you guys a better perspective on whether or not she's going to be worth it for you to pull. And for a lot of players, the answer is pretty much yes if you're looking to build a full roster of electric team, right? If you care about that. But if you don't care about that, then there's going to be a few other options which we have to take into consideration as well. Now Jiangyu, for those of you who are not aware, has been reworked in CN server, and straight up in global we are just going to straight up get the reworked version, which I think is a good thing because this is going to be the better version of Jiangyu. She has ever since been improved. If you guys have been watching an older guide where players say that you should skip Jiangyu, she's practically useless or one of the worst characters in the game, keep in mind that is going to be referring to the old Jiangyu. So the new one has pretty much been revamped. She's way stronger now. She's definitely something that you should definitely consider if you are looking to enhance or improve your electric team as a whole. Now first things first, how free-to-play friendly is Jiangyu, right? In my opinion, she's probably going to be one of the better characters to just get at least one copy. So she has plenty of things in her kit, but where she shines is going to be in her ability to basically buff Leva and of course do stability damage alongside with that as well, right? So very strong in that particular case. She's still pretty much going to be a supporter, alright? She's a supporter that does a lot of damage. I guess one of the highest dealing damage supporters in the game, right? So as you can see, her main damage right here, basically just do physical, pretty basic there. Now her skill 1, this is going to be very interesting, Masterful Thunderstrike, selects one enemy right there, and then she is going to basically do this 3x3 area around self, dealing AoE melee electric damage 90%, alright? Creates a voltage terrain for 3 turns. Alright, if phase weakness is exploited, additionally she's gonna deal 5 points of stability damage. After the attack, gains 6 additional movement and extra command. So that's pretty good. So she gets a bunch of things right here in the skill 1. She can do 5 stability damage. She can also gain additional movement and of course extra command. That can be useful for her skill 1. Now her skill 2, alright, selects enemy right there, deals electric damage. Again, you can see Jiangyu gains 2 points of Confectance Index. If the target is in stability break, she will then gains this particular thing called the Chi, right, before she attacks. Now what the heck is the Chi thing, right? The Chi basically increase your stability damage by 1, and basically and in this case, if the target, the enemy, has more than 0 stability, she will consume the stacks of Chi and deals fixed stability damage equal to consume stacks times 3 to the target. Alright, this can be stacked multiple times as well. Quite cool. And this is going to be the most interesting kit, the ultimate skill, right? Selects an enemy target within 8 tile. So she gains 2 stacks of Chi, deals electric damage, alright? And applies positive charge to all allies for 3 turns. So this is going to be her buff part of a kit that she basically can apply these things. She can also cleanse one debuff, which is going to be very important because no one else in the electric team can do that unless you bring like a few other characters like maybe Yuhi or stuff. At least that's going to be a good one. So this one is going to be a specific cleanse to stun and taunt. Alright, keep in mind it doesn't cleanse everything. So Jiangyu also will gain 1 point of Confectance Index. I believe there's a boss in CN that you have to bring one more extra character to basically just do an extra cleanse because this is not enough, right? So you have to like be careful with the boss and stuff. Okay, her passive skill is going to be how she basically operates right here. At the start, she gains 1 point of Confectance Index. At the end of the turn, if the Confectance Index of Jiangyu is full, that's basically her skill points. All of it will be consumed to reduce the cooldown of Chain Lightning by 1 turn. So if enemy unit repeatedly gains negative charge, applies 1 stack of Static Weakness for 2 turns. When an allied unit repeatedly gains positive charge, applies 1 stack of Power Surge. So she can do 2 things, right? Static Weakness, Power Surge. So Static Weakness again is going to improve upon the enemy's electric damage taken, alright? So this is going to like, you can stack this 3 times as well. Very good. Power Surge, when she does electric damage, ignores target's defense, alright? 5%. This is going to be quite crucial. You can even stack these up to 3 times. Again, very useful buff in an electric team comp, right? If an enemy within Jiangyu's range, alright, this is going to be very important. You have to make sure that she is near, takes targeted damage from an ally. User prioritizes performing 1 support action and gains 1 stack of Chi. So her support action is if the target has stability greater than 0, deals electric damage, alright? And 3 points of stability damage. Your target is in stability break, deals electric damage equal to 75% of attack. Triggers 2 times per round. So very good right here. She can basically support every single turn, every single round. She can trigger 2 times. I would say that is quite good, right? So overall, that's going to improve her by a ton. So let's talk about her as a whole, right? This is going to be where she comes in the differences of V0 and V1. If you get her up to V1, her support attack now can trigger an extra time. So instead of 2 times per round, it's going to be 3 times. Alright, I would say that's going to be quite good. At the start of the battle, deals 4 fixed stability damage to all enemy units within a radius of 8 tiles. Static weakness gains a new effect. When gained, deals fixed damage equal to current stacks times 10% of the caster's attack. So Power Surge also gain a new effect. Basically restore the HP. You don't really need these other two, the static weakness and power surge. I don't think you need that as much. Sure, you get a little bit of damage and restore a little bit of HP, but the important one is going to be your support as a whole is going to be even more, right? As opposed to 2 times, you now can do 3 times support, and in a long battle like in Gunsmoke, where that's going to be the most relevant, this is going to matter a lot. Now, if you're pulling her specifically for Gunsmoke, V1 seems like a pretty decent upgrade, but for most cases, if you don't care about it that much, I think you can get away with V0, right? In most cases, if you're looking to get a lot of the her potential out from her V0 is going to be more than enough, right? V1 is just going to improve a little bit more. Now her V2 is going to improve upon her out. Apparently she's going to out more often, and if you want to go like crazy, you can go to V6. Now personally, I think for a lot of free-to-play players, V0 is going to be more than enough. Here's my advice, right? Generally, for me, maybe I'm going to go with this approach as well. We're not aware of who is coming after Jiangyu, so my advice is probably get 1 copy, V0, and then you can decide after they announce the next character, right? If the next character after Jiangyu is going to be someone meta, then you should hold off from pulling extra copy. But if the next character is perhaps like skippable or something, then you can consider getting V1 for Jiangyu, because we don't know when the other characters is coming, for example Leva and Lena for the electric team. Now in terms of the recommendation for weapon, you can basically get away with using Golden Melody, right? I think for most players, that's going to make more sense. You are going to easily be able to swap the weapon around, so the other person that should be using Golden Melody is probably Cheongju, right? So you can swap in the preset and it doesn't clash. You're not going to ever use Cheongju and Jiangyu in the same team. So I do think that this is going to be a very good free-to-play option for a lot of players. If you don't have Golden Melody, Planeta works well as well. You don't really need her specific weapon, the Leaping Tiger, but if you really want to, I guess it's decent, right? Face damage permanently increase, and when you deal electric damage, you gain stack as well, right? But in most cases, I would say free-to-play players should be able to get away with Golden Melody. Now here's where the difficult part comes in regarding pulling for Jiangyu, right? It's less to do with her viability as a character, but it's more to do with how the banners is positioned right now. So she's competing with Springfield Rerun, one of the strongest support character in the game. And I think a lot of you guys probably are aware by now that Springfield is absolutely broken. And I'm thinking myself as well, should I pull for copies for Springfield? Now, instead of going for V1 Jiangyu, you can also consider, depending on how many dupes is your Springfield, you can also consider getting V1 or V2 for Springfield, because water team is still going to be quite strong. So you gotta ask yourself, which one is going to be important, much more important for you as a player? Should you actually consider an electric team, or should you actually consider a hydro team? Now, as much as I think Jiangyu is going to be quite important and relevant in the meta, I think the viability of her in an electric team is probably going to be a little bit less compared to a viability of a Springfield in a hydro team, where Springfield is just going to be the core character and she's going to do everything, right? She's going to be the healer, she's going to be the buffer, and if you V6 her, she can also be the damage dealer. And I do think that that's just a lot of value in one character, and I think by far it's unbeatable. You can't really beat the value of Springfield as a whole, right? I would say all of Springfield's her dupe fortification seems to be quite important for her. You are going to be able to get quite a lot out from getting dupes from her as a whole. For me right now, I'm at V1. I'm considering to get V2 as well. It's going to improve her strength as a whole. I'm still going to get Jiangyu for sure, but it's more like Jiangyu V1 versus Springfield V2 at that point, right? For me, that's going to be something that, again, I'm probably going to wait a little bit until they announce the next character after Jiangyu, and then we're going to decide from there. All in all, I do think that if you care about building an electric team, like I mentioned before, this is pretty much going to be the electric team moving forward. Alright, with Leva, Lena, Jiangyu, and the race, Belka is the one that's like perhaps replaceable if you get a higher dupe, Mosi Nagan, so that can be slotted in her particular place. Just a gentle reminder, if you care about building an electric team and you're trying to, future-proof yourself for electric comps in the future, then definitely this is something that you have to definitely consider getting 1 copy of Jiangyu. Alright, so with that being said, that's going to be it for this particular video. Let me know what you guys think overall of the choices of characters that we have right now. I think a lot of players have been complaining about them being pretty broke. You don't have enough to pull for every single character. I would say like Springfield is probably going to be a little bit more of a higher priority. You know, Hydro team is still going to be much more free to play because Tololo is there already, and Nikita, you know, you can just get one copy of her. I would say it's quite cheap as well, right? But yeah, it's quite hard to compare both teams, Hydro team versus Electric team. At the end of the day, you probably want to have both moving forward into the equation, right? This is going to be how it is because the game do encourage you to have every single element, and they do rotate around depending on the bosses, right? So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. Give this video a like. Have a nice day. Goodbye.